When did you realize your friends were actually fake friends? Finding out they have an inner circle group chat but I'm the only one not in it. When my phone got stolen and I lost their phone numbers. Mine stayed the same, but we just never talked again. I was invited to the bachelorette party for one of the friends in this group. While at the party, I figured out that I was the only person not invited to the wedding. I had been invited to the party because they needed another person to chip in for expenses. One friend stopped replying to my texts right after we graduated from college. Like the same week we graduated. So, I was pretty much just a study buddy that they kept close to keep me helping them. I wouldn't say I have fake friends, but I am definitely the periphery friend. The majority of the time if there isn't enough tickets or space in the car for everyone to go do something, I'm the one who gets cut out. It doesn't bother me much, but I wish they would be more mindful when talking to me about things we have done. Remember when we went to see XXX? Wasn't that fun? Well, no, because I wasn't invited. In those situations it usually gets awkward, or they say, "Hey, we would have invited you if we had the tickets, space, etc." After my divorce. We were couples friends, not individually. This was quite a few years ago. My ex and I were really friendly with another couple. Did a ton of stuff together. Then they moved, not far, and fairly shortly after my ex and I separated. They hung out with me for a few months but then stopped calling. A few years later, I ran into both of them at a race, an ultramarathon, and they both pretended like they didn't know me. That was actually a really painful moment. The group made plans to meet and hang out. I was getting ready in the salon. A couple of friends had to back out for some reason. The other friend then made excuses of his own, and I could tell. I tried cajoling him and offer ways for him to go, but he basically decided to cancel the entire group meet-up. It was my birthday. When they stopped contacting me when I stopped drinking. When I realized I was the one always calling. Then I stopped and friends disappeared. Once high school ended, I heard about all the rumors they made up about me. I stopped smoking weed and they stopped coming round. Edit. That's a lotta upvotes. I'm sorry so many of you seem to have had similar experiences. You'll make new friends if you haven't already. To the people saying there's nothing wrong with this, then I'd like to respectfully disagree. These were people I considered close friends. It wasn't just some guys and gals I shared a hobby with. Please don't be so quick to judge when you have very little context. Whenever we were supposed to hang out something came up, and that something was hanging out with other mutual friends. When I went through a divorce and was down to $700 most difficult period, and weeded out all those who friended me for my generosity because I was well settled. Started over and have like 2 true good friends. Edit. Thank you all for your well wishes and wisdom-filled comments. Incredible how sometimes you get more support and well wishes from strangers than folks who led you to believe to be your well wishers. When they ghosted me after 17 years of close friendship. I still have no idea what I did wrong, and for extra salt in the wound, it was right after I spent a week eating instant noodles because I donated every cent I had to one of them for her cancer treatment GoFundMe. Hurt more than any relationship breakup. Edit. For all those asking, yes, she definitely has cancer. No, she didn't die. And given that it was more than one person who ghosted me and that the cancer friend still maintains an active social life with everyone else but me, it's probably not for reasons related to her ordeal. When you try to open up and try to share a genuine conversation about something going on in your life and all they can do is crack jokes and try to get you to go out drinking with them. Made me realize how surface level many friendships really are. Then you have the opposite of that. 3 guys I've known since I was a freshman in high school. Been friends for over 15 years. Have stayed in touch through all of us getting married, having kids, and moving to completely separate areas or the country. Yet whenever we're within an hour of each other we always make a point to get breakfast and catch up. This usually turns into 3+ hour conversations. This may only happen once or twice a year, but I consider those guys my best friends. That's real friendship and I'm fortunate to have them. My friends from high school all unfollowed me when I graduated college. I'm the only one who no longer lives in our hometown. When I was in school, all my friends and I did different A-levels. Despite us all having different lessons to each other, they would wait for each other to go to lunch together, but they would always forget me. Like I'd come out and they wouldn't be there, so I'd have lunch by myself. And then they'd come back and tell me they thought I was with them. I was the only one they didn't wait for. I've only seen one of them since we left school. She had forgotten my name. So that sucked. I was at a party, really depressed after a bad breakup and got drunk. My abusive ex showed up, caught me somewhere alone and hit me. I begged several friends for help since I was too drunk to drive home alone and they ignored me. My ex-best friend was there, completely sober, and refused to drive home with me because she didn't believe he would do that. There's no Uber or anything in my country, by the way. The whole thing escalated. One guy the first didn't know ended up finding me alone in a field crying and throwing up, brought me back to the house, built a bed out of blankets for me and sat guard all night to make sure my ex wouldn't do anything again. When I traded in my truck for a smaller, more eco-friendly vehicle. Communication plummeted now that I can't haul furniture around, assist with moving as much, dispose of garbage, etc. Fully vaccinated people of Reddit. Are you still wearing masks? Why or why not? Yes, because I'm fuck ugly. If a business asks me, do I do so? Seems only polite. It's still mandatory at work, at least when there's someone else in the room with me. So, truthfully, force of habit. Yes. Because I have cancer and chemo wrecks my immune system. To be frank, right now I'm feeling an urge to follow the crowd, so to speak. If I go in some business and everyone else has a mask on, I feel weird being the only one who doesn't. But if most people don't, I feel fine without. It's not the most sensible or logical way to feel, I know, but it's what I've been doing. 1. Law here still got us wearing masks or get fined, even though police don't really enforce and very rarely do checkups anymore. 2. I don't mind the mask. I work retail and last time I smelled a bad breath other than mine was long time ago, which is a huge plus. I still wear eye mask because since I started wearing one I am yet to get sick and I would like to keep that going. I continue to mask because I am on immune suppressing medication. I have no way of knowing the vaccine was effective enough due to my medication. Additionally, my doctor stated that I need to avoid COVID due to people with multiple sclerosis, which is what I take my immunize-suppressing medication for, showing new lesions on their brain, spine after contracting COVID. I don't ask people around me to mask up, and when I'm outside I don't wear one. Edit. Spelling. Yes. Newborn at home and I'm Japanese, it's in my nature. Don't need government to tell me how to keep myself safe. It's not a political thing for me. I do it because it's the right thing to do. I'm autistic and have anxiety. I find wearing a mask makes me feel safer and more comfortable. I don't have to worry about performing facial expressions properly, and it just makes me feel more safe in general. Yes, because if this pandemic taught me anything, it's that other people are filthy savages, can't be trusted to practice basic hygiene, and I'd generally rather avoid breathing in whatever they're breathing out even if it isn't a deadly virus. Yep. I like the anonymity. I haven't been sick in forever. All this variant stuff going around. Some of that sounds not good. My kid has asthma, so he doesn't really need any more lung scarring and I can still carry it apparently. There's 4 reasons. Hoping a vaccine that's safe for kids comes out soon. They're removing mask requirements for all the places my kid goes. It bothers me a bit. 0 kids can even be vaccinated. Jumping the gun on that one emo. Kids still need distancing, hygiene protection because that's all they've got. No, for the most part, I am not. I don't know anyone who is unvaccinated. I don't have children. So if the rules of the place say no mask, I don't wear it. I do carry it just in case, and if asked to wear it I would not make a fuss or anything. I did have to wear it at the dentist office, for example, which is totally fine. Depends on the setting. Somewhere public where everyone is spread out, outdoors. No, I probably won't wear a mask. Indoors, crowded area like a grocery store or shopping center. Yes. Yeah, a few reasons. 1. I work at a hospital, it helps keep things healthy and sanitary. Also, just because I'm at a lower risk, COVID plus people have passed by me and their germs might still be on me somewhere. Maybe I can't be 100% safe, but the mask helps. 2. Wearing one helps contribute to the public perception that people should keep wearing them, and until the CDC, WHO, related organizations come out and says we're in the clear, I'm gonna keep it. 3. Vaccinated is not immune. Just last week several people came in COVID plus that had been vaccinated a few months prior. They were less sick than they could have been, judging by appearances, but still. So you can still spread it. I don't wear a mask unless it's required by a business. The chances are much lower for me and my family with us all being vaccinated. Everyone in the USA has had a fair chance to be vaccinated. If you have chosen to not be vaccinated at this point, you have decided your path. As the anti-vaxxers have pointed out, it is my choice. Sometimes. I try to be respectful if someone seems worried about being cautious. Edit. You guys know there are still vulnerable people out there for whom vaccination is not an option, right? I have hundreds of clients in such a situation. Putting on a mask takes 3 seconds, and if it makes somebody like that feel safer or more comfortable, I'd be absolute human garbage to not accommodate. Nope. The minute the ordinance was dropped it came off. What a relief. I was a hardcore pro-masker and happily followed the rules, but that doesn't mean I liked wearing it or that I'm not overjoyed to not have to wear it anymore. That said, if any business requires it, or if a person asks, although this has not happened in months, I have no problem strapping one on for a bit. I still keep them in my car. I do still mask up going into public places even being vaccinated. There's some serious mutations going about and I'd rather not get my mother-in-law or young child sick by getting sick myself. It would probably kill Mill if she got it. Vaccinated and living in NZ, where there is currently no COVID, and I still wear a mask on public transport. Partly because it's mandatory at the moment, but mainly because every time there is news of a possible outbreak here, the front page of the newspaper has a photo of someone on a bus without a mask on, the implication being that we should all judge them for it, and I don't want that to be me.